begins with sand and swagger as the AVP League hits Palm Beach. A heat wave of competition lasting all summer long on the CW. Will a legend capture this year's crown jewel, or will a rookie rise and steal the show? Sun's low, stakes are high. It's time to light up the night. Welcome to the AVP League. The Southern Coast playing host to the first week on the AVP League, and it's no doubt a proving ground for the world's best beach volleyball players at the Delray Beach Tennis Center. Under the lights, a new arena is staged. Who can best the sand and best their opponents? It's the Palm Beach Passion taking on the Dallas Dream. Matches have already taken place, but we are heating up the action this evening under the lights. Hi, everyone. Cameron Irwin alongside Olympian Kevin Barnett, and we have some impressive athletes out on the floor right now. What are you looking for in this first matchup?
I'm watching the defenders in particular here. You know you got to score on your own serve, and defense so much a part of that. There's two parts to it, right? You have to make the dig first, and then ideally you want to convert on a first ball transition swing for a kill. And for Melissa Humana Paredes, she was a little bit short last night. Lost in 3. The extra step is what I'm looking for tonight. Step and a half more, easy play for the transition attempt. On the other side for Haley Harward, we know she's going to get the digs. The question is, how lethal can she be in transition to extend leads, to extend runs, and have her side win?
The Olympic silver medalists are out on the sand as we take a look at tonight's schedule. A match has already taken place, and shockingly, the Brooklyn Blaze are now 2-0 as they took down the San Diego Smash on the women's side. Very impressive. And then when you look to this matchup, you've got Kylie DeBerg, Haley Harward, a few names you mentioned, as well as Melissa Humana Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson. The fellas will come up next. That's Andy Benish and Miles Partain. How about another Olympic duo for you from Paris 2024? Facing off against the greatest to ever do it. Phil Dahlhauser alongside the 4-time Manhattan Beach Open champ, of course, Trevor Crabb. And new and exciting things in 2025 with the AVP League. A different format. Kev, walk me through it and what excites you the most.
What excites me is your success or failure depends entirely on you. Your individual record is going to carry you either to the opportunity to win it in Chicago for the league championship, or you're going to be sitting at home. We're going to take 6 teams to Chicago, August 30th and 31st. I'm really looking forward to that. Remember, if you win in 3 sets, you take home some of those tiebreaker points. You get 3 points for that win. If you go to a third and you're victorious, you get 2. If you force a third, you guaranteed yourself a point and a little bit of space in the break, but you want to pick up victories. That's what really is going to matter.
All I know is one championship isn't enough, and one team that will likely benefit from some of these new format changes, Melissa Humana Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson. Why?
Yeah, right. 5-3 last year on their own. Did not get a shot at the title because their male counterparts were 1-7. Well, their male counterparts got a little better this year, but the equation is different. And I like the way that this duo plays together. Their positive energy is really tight.
And on the other side, it's Haley Harward and Kylie DeBerg. You cannot forget about the Dallas Dream. They were the runners-up in 2024.
Yeah, they were the last team into the league. That was the most interesting thing. They had to work hard in Chicago as we wrapped up in the summer, went into the fall with the league, even to get in. And then they continued to play better and better. Look for the service of DeBerg to be a huge momentum setter for that side.
Everyone's taking their seats. They'll surely be back up on their feet. It's time to meet our 4 athletes. Here's Mark Sherman with your team intros.
Some noise! Yes, let's go. It is time for Dallas and Palm Beach. First up, let's meet the players of the Dallas Dream. For Dallas, this first player, the blocker, oh my goodness, coming in at 6 feet 4 inches tall out of LSU, it's Kylie DeBerg. And her partner out of USC, the 5'9" defender, it's Haley Harward. And their opponents, your Palm Beach Passion. Standing at 5 feet 9 inches tall, the defender out of York University is the smiling assassin, the Olympic silver medalist from Canada, Melissa Humana Paredes. And her partner, one of the best blockers in the world, everybody. And when she's out there, oh, she's got this swag. You just can't help but love her. At 5 feet 11 inches tall, out of York University, she is the one, the only Brandy Wilkerson.
Probably one of the most daunting teams to have to face. Melissa Humana Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson. What makes them so dangerous?
Explosive. They're explosive. Brandy, you heard that, 5'11". She does not play 5'11". She's playing like 6'2" at the net with that huge vertical, making big moves. You're going to see her with a lot of float blocks here. She'll show that she's in the line, but she'll jump into the angle and vice versa. Really causes problems for opponents in that way.
A perfect backdrop, the sunset, but things are only getting hotter. Melissa Humana Paredes on the right side of your screen will get the first serve. An elite defender in her own right.
If I'm Mel, I want to pick up a dig right away. I want to have a good run, a good read, and pick up that opportunity, go to 1-0 on my own service.
Team Canada in pink. That's Kylie DeBerg. The first dig to your point, Kev. And the finish.
Picture perfect start. And I think you're going to see him work on DeBerg quite a bit. She's proven that she can be lethal at the net, but it's getting there consistently. That's a problem throughout an entire match. She's had a couple little passing breakdowns. That goes back to last year. That's a part of her game that's going to continue to grow.
Kylie DeBerg did her training at LSU for beach volleyball. She's been the target on the pass as an error. Second time now.
Yeah, and that's off a bad pass. Haley's trying to make something out of that because it's too tight to the net, too much pace, and Harward forced to try and react to it. Goes a little wide.
Haley Harward, just 27 years old. She's a two-time national champ out of USC. 2 products of the collegiate beach volleyball game. Trying to find the cut, and it's 3 straight for Palm Beach. Brandy Wilkerson, one of the best blockers in the world. Get a chance to see just how high her vertical can go.
Already a much better start for Palm Beach, who went down 5-0 with Julia Donlin at the line in last evening's match.
That's an extended set and perfect timing. Big block from Brandy.
It's all about footwork. So what the Dream did that time was try and spread the net, push to one side, and then try and set long ways across. And that'll pull the blocker sometimes and a little too far. They'll go too far with the attacker. Well, Brandy stays home. She's like, I'm going to take the angle. I'm still in the angle. I'm not overrunning this thing. She takes a look at where the set is, lines up perfectly, and lets the ball come to her, taking up the space that she had planned with Melissa Humana Paredes pre-play.
Let's head down now to the 3rd member of our crew. I'm surrounded by Olympians. Casey Patterson, what's going on?
I had a chance to just listen in on Palm Beach Passion's game plan leading into this match, talking about the types of serves they want to attack against Kylie, down the line, short sideline, short middle, and then also in transition, what Haley's going to do and how she's going to wrap and use space, and then how they're going to bounce back and forth between the 2 types of game plans because of the weapons that each of them are bringing. And so they've got everything buttoned up, tightened up. They've got an option for everything. And so it was really cool to hear them talk about all the layers that they've got ready to go. And it builds confidence, and that's exactly what they came out with.
It helps to build confidence when you can block that many balls. That's 3.4 blocks per set for Brandy in 2024. They did talk about the service pressure, though. That was something they had a harder time managing an evening ago in their 3-set loss.
Absolutely. Here they've gotten off to a better start on their side, but they've done it with their style of play, right? The transitions and then the blocking of Wilkerson. And they're getting off to a slow start on the season deliberately. They waited to get back in the sand, took almost a 2-month break. They said maybe it was too long, but we kind of needed it to decompress. This is a long 4-year cycle that they're in. Here's another dig.
Here comes Melissa. A little off kilter, but a point nonetheless.
People have to understand how these athletes are forced to manage a 4-year cycle, that the demands are heavy and the seasons have grown. There is no giant break anymore from August until, say, April or May. You're playing right to December into the World Tour Finals sometimes, and then you're coming back and starting in February if you want, depending upon your chosen schedule.
And it was a bit of a different approach for these two, as they didn't do a full quad prior to Paris. They got together just 2 years before, so still somewhat fresh, as here comes Brandy Wilkerson with that lefty. Scrambling, can't make the omelet.
I think the bowl's been spilled on the floor here for Dallas in the first. 6-0. They've already taken their timeout. Remember, they can't stop it now. So if I'm back there and I'm Mel right now, I am not missing. I don't care where the ball goes. It just has to be in now. But I would approach it with a put it to a spot type of mentality. And she does.
That's a perfect spot. Another scoop. The Palm Beach defense is everywhere.
Man, they just dialed that in, right? Did you see Brandy? She jumped from being on the line. She jumped into the angle, and Mel crossed right behind her down the line. That is absolutely how you do it. Watch the action here. Big jump to the right, shift to the left, baiting Haley Harwood into that shot. And then first ball, transition sand.
Some challenges on the other side of the net as well. This is a partnership in Haley Harwood and Kylie DeBerg that actually utilizes different partners internationally. So not getting as much time on the sand. Is it showing here?
I don't think that's why at this point. Yeah, I think they're just getting beat by a team that's angry about last night and refined a little bit of what they're doing. Dialed themselves in mentally to open this match. But they've avoided the historic 8-0. That would be a tie. We had that last night. We almost got there again.
Haley Harwood, the deep float. And another swing. This is what we saw in 2024 from Harwood. Dig after dig. This time it's Melissa. Are they trying to make a statement?
I think they're just trying to play to their level. They did not do that last night. It was close last night. The margins are small. Both these teams lost in 3, but the margins were so tiny.
And while we have a second 8-1 under the umbrellas, Mark Sherman, the 4th member of our crew, had a chance to roam around the facility and actually catch up with a few folks.
I'm up here with Josh Dallenbert from Phoenix Beach Volleyball Club out of Coconut Grove, right?
Yes, sir. Coconut Grove, Coral Gables. Yes, sir.
And what does it mean to you to be a partner with the AVP, to be able to be at this first league event of the year?
You know, the AVP is awesome. We love beach volleyball. Beach volleyball is a sport you can play for years. We can't always play it at this level, but you can play it with...
Nobody can.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're the pros, and we love them, and we love that this is at nighttime. It's just a beautiful night here in Delray, and we're having a great time.
Yeah, once that sun goes down, it is absolutely perfect out here. Josh, thank you for being out here.
No problem. We love the AVP, and we're happy to be your partner.
We got partners right and left. This is just week number 1 with the AVP League. We'll be going all the way through the summer. You can catch us in San Diego, Miami, East Hampton, LA, in the Intuit Dome of all places. But you can catch the world's best right here with the AVP League. Palm Beach up 8-1 in the first set. DeBerg has to get off of her knees, and she finds a great shot cross court.
I hope you heard the sound there. That's what I like most about that attack, was the crisp contact. She lofted it over the top. Right there. Kind of the heel of her hand and dialing up the exact edge of the court.
Kylie DeBerg, the 3-time All-American in the indoor game. The collegiate ranks was at Missouri and went off to play for Russell Brock and the LSU Tigers. On the other side, too, her partner. How about 8.5 years of schooling for Haley Harwood? She walked away with 2 master's degrees.
There's a whole generation of players who spent double the time in college than anyone else had in history.
Here's DeBerg to the corner. What would you think her master's degree are in?
Is this a quiz?
No, it's just a guess.
Early childhood development.
Well, okay, there's 1. What's the second? Haley, of course, one of the smartest on the sand. Pretty impressive. She actually finished her master's degree in entrepreneurship and then went in innovation, and her second degree
Divinity?
in marketing.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the first passes we've seen gone awry. Harward, nobody home.
And that's what there was to learn last night about the silver medalists. So what worked from the service line for Denneberg and Donlin was keeping Melissa Humana-Paredes to her left with the service of Denneberg. They let Donlin just do whatever. She served a lot of middle, a lot of heat all over the court, but they kept that float serve on Mel and tried to avoid the on-two. And so that is certainly instructive when you watch that match and watch the success that that young American side had.
Sometimes it's about mirroring what you see others doing in terms of a strategy.
Yeah, and you have to blend it with what you're good at. You can't just try and do what someone else does all the time, but you have to ask yourself, how does that work with what my talents are, what my strengths are?
Trying to find some strength on defense. Here's Haley Harward, the 2024 Defensive Player of the Year. And it is over the net, a point for Palm Beach Passion.
And not a lot of argument there from Kylie DeBerg at 6'4". She's more than capable of this. That one is close. Yeah, shaking her head. Yep. Excellent look at it by her crew there. You see that whole ball cleared the net. So that is the Palm Beach Passion's ball. It must be let go.
Sets played to just 15 points.
This is reminiscent of the last time and the only time these teams have met. Played last year in Miami. Remember, a hot afternoon just south of here. 15-5, 15-11 in that one.
Currently sitting at 10-5. But we see another. There's the good block touch. Trying to find the turn. And a little off balance.
And I think that's where we're seeing the lack of time in the sand. The touches are a little off. It's not the same precision as last year, but that is calculated to be at their best as this year wears on to keep them physically fresh, and the touch will come back.
A few changes for them as well from last year to this year. Not only a bit more grace in their game in terms of allowing themselves to experiment on the side of Palm Beach Passion, but also a coaching change. Working with Ricardo de Freitas now, the son of legendary player and coach from Brazil, Bebeto de Freitas. Played in 1972 and 1976. And Ricardo, his son, actually coached a beach team to a silver medal in 2016.
Thanks for actually naming off an Olympic Games that was the Stone Age, not just the one that I played in, where you can get the gear at Abercrombie & Fitch now or something. You know, it's retro.
You know what's so funny is I've seen those photos. Those were some tracksuits you guys got to wear.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Let's say the fabrics, the technical fabrics weren't really there yet.
The stars and stripes were real big.
Well, that, how far back are you going? You're going to 96. I think you're into 96. Those were extreme. Yeah, I had some stuff I just recently got rid of, and that's what you do if you're this crew here. It's like, when will you get rid of your medal stand outfit? Do you have it framed? What do you do with all this stuff that contains some incredible memories for these women of the Palm Beach Passion?
Mel using the length of the court, and it is a perfect setup.
And look at that, right back into the set. And you can see how big Kylie DeBerg can be at the net, how physically imposing.
And Haley Harward trying to find a third member of the Dallas Dream. That's going to be tough against the hometown crowd.
She might be asking the impossible. There's more pink out there than there is teal, that's for sure.
I mean, they're both neon.
Pink's the best. Actually, Mel's very, very thankful for that. She said, we clearly have the best colorway.
There's that tough serve in the middle. Distance set. Pull from Brandy. That's what she's been working on.
Slice it off. Wow, that was deli shave right there. A lot of spin already on this thing. I like the pull dig. They've been working on that peeling off the net, and watch this. Caterpillar across the top.
She led all women in hitting efficiency in 2024. She's not just good on defense, she's great on offense.
Saw Mel checking the wind there. There is no wind right now. Just a touch of a breeze, not really enough to affect the ball down on court.
4 outdoor locations this year, 5 indoor. pulls again. No good this time.
I think she's got to go a touch earlier. I think she's about a half a beat late, and if she's just another step back, I'll bet that's a little bit easier play.
Even if Dallas doesn't take this first set, they've definitely gained a bit of momentum. They found their game. Option. How do you stop that?
Well, you have to get to the net quickly, one, and you have to be on your read right away. It really causes, even if you don't take the option, it causes the blocker to have to make 2 reads versus 1 read. It is a real challenge for any of the blockers there, and especially when you see those blockers are having to run up. The quicker you can push it, the better, because Kylie DeBerg was not finished.
The Vancouver Island native, Melissa Humana-Paredes. There's that pop serve. Sitting in the middle, that time the option is touched, and it's yet another. Set point for the Palm Beach Passion. Will they go right back to DeBerg? High touch, and that lands. Point to the Palm Beach Passion and set number 1.
I know I mentioned the defenders coming in. One of the huge differences in this first set was the ability of Brandy Wilkerson to rule the net space. Blocks on 2s, winning jousts, drawing overs. She was in charge of the defense at the net.
These two looking to find a bit of redemption from last night. They faced off against a very tough team of Lexi Denenberg and Julia Donlin. It was a 3-set battle, you mentioned it, but so far they are firing on all cylinders. A look under the umbrella, and again, coaching so pivotal as these teams continue to climb the ranks, and especially for this duo.
It's not only technical, it's mindset. It's great to have somebody in your corner who can dissect the game, kind of remove you from whatever is being done to you by your opponent, or remove you from whatever it is you're doing to yourself sometimes if you're kind of self-immolating, self-destructing.
It's important for Melissa Humana-Paredes, who has mentioned multiple times that they need a coach who nourishes them not just on the court, but also off the court, and understands that they have to have that balance. After the grind of heading to the Olympics, these two needed a little time, and they took it. Glad to see them right back here and ready to roll. The momentum of the AVP League is firing, and the players are feeling it. We asked Melissa Humana-Paredes what she loves about playing in the AVP League. Here's what she had to say.
I think the AVP is changing the game completely. They're innovating what beach volleyball is. Moving from a tournament structure to a league-based game is super different for all the players. It's really exciting, not just for the players, but also the fans. It's dynamic, it's quick. It makes players like really hone in on their skills from the get-go. And it makes fans realize these games are fast, and it's gonna be the highest quality volleyball right from the first point. So I feel like you have to pay attention to the restructuring of the game because it's one of a kind, and it's really going to try and get beach volleyball to reach its maximum potential and be amongst the NBA, the NHL, the WNBA, the PWHL. Like, this is where we want to be with beach volleyball, so you want to get on board now.
And here is the brain trust of the AVP, Heath Freeman and Bobby Corvino. Heath, the chairman of the AVP, and Bobby, the commissioner. 2 great minds putting this together.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it takes vision, and execution is what you need to create motion, right? You need those 2 elements, and as you heard Mel say, this is the best players and the best matches all the time. That's the big play here for league play. And the level of competition is what will not only build the fandom, build the product, build this league, it'll also build the players in the United States. And yeah, we have the Canadians here, but iron sharpens iron. And this sport needs a definitive top level, and that's what the AVP League aims to be.
For these two, they mentioned the games to 15 and just the change in how they play internationally. They know they've got to get on those sets early and fast as you look to what's to come this summer. June 6th to the 7th, we're heading to the West Coast in San Diego. And why not? A week later, come on right back to Florida in Miami, East Hampton, LA, New York, Austin. There's no question we're coming to a city near you, and especially circle that last one, Chicago, all the way at the bottom. That is where the AVP League Championships will take place. And of course, the creme de la creme, Manhattan Beach Open, August 15th through the 17th, a Heritage Series event.
Yeah, the Heritage event should be a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to the visit to the hometown that culminates every summer, kind of the bookends this weekend all the way to that weekend.
Kev, you're looking at the stats right now. What did you notice in set one?
Yeah, errors. Kylie DeBerg, 5 errors, 4 kills on 12. Definitely the target. Her opponent only had 6 swings. Haley Harvard, a couple of those were on 2s. On the other side, they're trying to attack Melissa Humana Paredes. She was 5 of 10, 1 error. I mean, not knocking the world out, but steady as all get out. So I'm not sure what you do here in terms of serving strategy. I would like to go with best serve for Kylie DeBerg, and if you're Haley Hartward, target somebody short, try and destabilize the reception, maybe keep going to that line side of Melissa Humana Paredes. Just go back to the plan from yesterday that worked to destabilize Palm Beach.
Kylie DeBerg has told us that she plays her best when she's chippy and filled with energy. Where can she find that here? Where does that come from?
It can come from a couple places, your partner or yourself. And I think it has to come from her. She has to decide that she's going to be into it all the time. She said, I'm best when I play with some energy. Well, why don't you play with energy all the time? I'm not quite sure. So you have to find a way to get yourself into that mindset. And we've talked a lot about the mental training side of things, and that may be a good focus for her as she continues to progress along the professional side.
Well, and it is a change, right? She came from the indoor game and then switched to the beach. And she has mentioned that when you're playing with 5 other athletes, you get to be a lot more internal.
Sure,
you come to the beach,
you can carry, right.
And you have to go external.
Right, you can carry along because there are other people who could set the tone. You can be a cog in that machinery. Here, yeah, there's only 2 people. You guys are the machine.
Machines for Palm Beach passion, for sure. Casey Patterson, what's going on down on the sand?
Yeah, I love the topic you guys are talking about, because as a player on this tour, being the guy that brought all the fire and excitement, it was great to have a partner like a Haley who's going to steady me out. They're going to make the plays and let me just kind of be free to miss my serve here and there and be super aggressive and let me find my flow. But I need to always keep my identity and just know, if I didn't go all in, I wasn't going to win being a quiet mouse. So I feel like that's the team talk that they're having, and they're going to attack this Palm Beach passion in the second set.
Well, Casey, I'm not surprised considering you were the king of energy when you played beach volleyball. So let's see if Kylie DeBerg can find a little here alongside Haley.
I just ordered a new T-shirt for Case. It says, I'm a quiet mouse. So he'll have that ironic shirt when we get to San Diego in a couple weeks.
No one will believe it.
Yeah.
Second set, 2-1 for Palm Beach. Look at a chance to see Brandy Wilkerson back at the service line. And over the years, we've really seen Brandy develop from that point.
Yeah, and so far, last night into tonight, we haven't seen her do that short, deep game that we're so used to seeing. I think maybe a lack of wind is part of it, because she puts so much topspin on the ball that she can really play with that short, deep aspect. But if you don't have a steady headwind, it's not as effective. Kind of that good side, bad side opportunity. I was talking to the Dallas Dream before the match, and they told me that they feel like the ball is carrying here in the stadium as that ball goes right through the block. They said that the balls are new, and when they're new, they're a little bit smaller, feel a little bit different, and they feel like they're getting so much pop off the hands that they're driving to the back.
And it is interesting. You play with a different ball internationally than you do here domestically.
Sure. And it's different than the picnic ball you all play with out there.
Getting some insight from Casey Patterson, hearing the wind starting to pick up just about the net height. Pay attention as the ball travels the length.
Yeah, they run that long offense, right? Casey touched on that earlier in one of our matches tonight, where you're deliberately trying to pass the ball far to one side so it can be set far to the other side to stress out the blocker and make them think about, will it be chipped over on 2? Which way do I need to cheat? Where do I need to be? Yeah, see how deep that ball carried?
And is that ball good or not? While they debate, Casey Patterson, we talked about the wind being at net height. How does that change the game?
Yeah, 2 things, especially when you're in a stadium like this. The wind usually comes in from like 2 locations, and it usually affects the ball a little bit higher than, just higher than the net, right? And it comes and goes, and it picked up a little bit near the end of that second set, or the first set, And so it's dealing with the serve. The sets are changing a little bit more than they were in the beginning. And so athletes are having to pay attention to their approach and position to their set longer than they maybe were used to in the beginning. And so that plays a big factor because it's just like the subtle nuance of that wind picking up.
Case, what kind of set is more vulnerable? A vertical up and down set or one of these pace to the pin kind of opportunities?
I love that. Yeah, the up and down set is controlled a little bit more on the set with the wind. So if I want to put a little pace and direction, it'll cut through the wind and hold better so that I can go follow the trajectory of that set and go attack it. So I would prefer to run a little bit lower, a little bit more tempo, so the ball doesn't get affected as much with the wind.
And if you're on the FIVB tour, would you consider putting top spin or back spin on it now with the rules? So you could just like direct it?
Right, I would just mangle it and no one would call it. Perfect.
Of course, those rules not in effect with the AVP.
No, relax,
and
everybody.
We're happy about it.
Purists, old school volleyball, take it easy. Take it easy, as you were.
Still going to be calling those double contacts.
Kevin Cleary, deep breath. It's all right. Everyone at 21st Street. All right, find your chi.
Line. Oh. No, come on. Dug out of bounds. Those antennas, yeah, they're no good.
Still.
That rule hasn't changed either.
No. There's been jokes for years since the let serve came in that eventually skipping it off the antenna was going to be good. Thankfully, there's no talk of that.
Quick side shuffle for the approach. The cut shot is Doug. Trying to stay aggressive.
I like that. And I'm thinking back to the first set, right? What was the difference in the first set? Well, it was that open. It was just the open. Other than that, Dallas played them just about even. And for the Dreams, so far, it's almost the same story as it was in 24, that they can play stretches of really quality volleyball, but they're giving up a couple too many runs here and there that really cost them. That's the kind of ball you need to convert in transition. You got to own that one.
Reminder, the Passion started this match on a 7-0 run since they're at 15-all.
Yeah, just to that point, let our boy Dougie Strauss on top of it. But you have to score some of these.
Who's going to score this one? She plays it from out of bounds.
Valles breaks out again.
Melissa Humana Paredes. That'll get you excited, Palm Beach. How about a little pina colada with this one?
I'll take it. Go with my macaroni, the indoor warm-up game. All these food names in volleyball we're touched on all the time. Love the read there from Mel. And that ball was so close, you have to play it. You have to play it. And I like the try there from Haley as well.
And you gotta love the fire.
Celebrate your partner. That's smart to do.
Everyone taking a second after that last rally. Brandy, obviously a fiery teammate. We caught up with Mel about her partner.
I'll know ahead of time when she's about to get a block because you can just see in her movements, and that fires me up so much. I feel so privileged to be able to be the defender in the back row because I get to see everything that she does. She doesn't get to see what I'm doing, unfortunately, all the time. When the play that we wanted is executed so well, or she's able to pivot in the middle of jumping and just midair, able to just read the ball and then make a crazy play and just like reach her long, crazy arms and like swat that ball down. That fires me up so much. I love seeing her just take over and completely patrol the net.
I love the competitive fire of this woman. She said, it comes from my mom, Stephanie, a Swiss national runner, Ironman finalist. She said, look, my mom was always one of those, if you're not first, you're last kind of people. You throw that in with Dad, Herb Johnson, played professionally, France, Spain, Turkey, and so on. Look at this, you get a happy first competitor. She is so athletic, so much fun to watch. And that's a terrific point about Mel. I see her, but she doesn't see me.
But it's hilarious, too, because the athleticism in that family doesn't end there. Her brother,
Absolutely.
Luke, is also an amazing soccer player. And I just saw some highlights on her Instagram, and I'm like, oh, yeah, he's got a career ahead of him as well. One of her biggest supporters in Paris in 2024.
Yeah,
Made some pretty epic T-shirts.
She was bragging on him, wasn't she? She said he was so fired up, and you'd love to see that in the family, that they join in the journey. No one gets to the Olympic Games on their own. No one.
She's got 2 more siblings, Naomi and Travis, as she has to recycle this ball back. Open. No legs left. Another for Wilkerson. But she's very tight with her family, Naomi and Travis and Luke, her 3 siblings. Pretty cool, though. She also has 3 hearts on her passing platform for her 3 siblings.
Critical moment right now for Dallas. Must have this side out, or we're looking at a very quick match. They're on the defensive.
Melissa tracks down the line. Reverse from Harward. Can't find the right way this time.
I almost think Brandy is more dangerous in those plays than she is in the traditional on-two, because you know that's coming. But when the ball's passed kind of up and down on top of her, she will frequently just chip it somewhere with a good amount of pace and positioning. And there's not much the blocker can do to react to it.
A 5-1 run here for the Palm Beach Passion. Interestingly enough, too, the side they're on has quite the deficit in terms of points scored, regardless of which team is on it. Nearly a 10-point deficit. They can close this out on that side. It's going to be impressive.
Well, Mel's got that extra step and a half, picking up so many defensive plays.
Melissa Humana-Paredes also has earned a world championship, but was with a different partner, Sarah Pavin. These two are currently on track to try and find a world championship, something Brandy doesn't have.
Yeah, I remember those battles, right? How many battles did we have in AVP heritage play between Sarah Pavin, Melissa Humana-Paredes, and the A-team, Alex Kleinman, April Ross, of course, gold medalists in their own right. Incredible. I remember those days with fondness.
Saturday, June 7th, the AVP League heads to San Diego for week 2 of summer's hottest sport. Watch the world's best battle to rule the beach. The AVP League from San Diego, Saturday, June 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the CW. Man, Saturday nights this summer just got a whole lot better.
Hot summer nights.
It's coming back.
Yeah, I love it. And it is. That's the best volleyball. That's what I'm excited about. Every match, you look at the match and they're a toss-up. You're thinking about how small the margins will be. What will be the moments that will determine success or failure. Here, I think we've kind of nailed who these teams were, right? Melissa Humana-Paredes yesterday, just a step short. We don't see that. We do not see that. You're not seeing it tonight. And on the other side, there's still work to do. There's still a lot of upside to be had for the Dallas Dream, but they have done an excellent job of targeting Kylie DeBerg in service reception. That's kept Dallas off balance. They stay with it.
This time, Harward steals the middle. Little shot scorcher from Harward. Got to make your move, down by 4. Will it be with a DeBerg block? Setting with no view. There's the block from DeBerg. Line, but oh man, somebody went fishing. Palm Beach just 2 away.
That was a weird contact. I think it was a sand snake I spotted.
Palm Beach looking for their first win on the women's side. Their partners on the men's, Phil Dahlhauser, Trevor Crabb, they're coming up next here on the CW. And a double called, the first one we've seen.
That one was dirty.
You made that so obvious.
What? So we're playing the game of acting.
We are playing volleyball. That is correct, Brandy. Nice work. I love it. She's a fighter.
Yeah, line.
From behind, another. The Palm Beach Passion are one away from their first win. Looking to right the ship.
Crowd's looking for dollar beers.
Tough ball, open net. As close as it gets, inbounds. At this point, got to find some defense.
Passion just had to find one more side out. It all comes down to not only the defense camp, but also the conversions by Harvard. Got to have first ball.
Or how about an ace? How many more has she got of those? A second match point. That's the easy way to do it.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do it, too. Have that thing just drop off a shelf onto the line.
How long will the slow clap go? Just 1, 2, 3. Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson pick up their first win in 2025.
Yeah, the crowd picks up that special promotion for 10 minutes. They're going to give out dollar beers here in the stadium. Get people fired up on their Saturday evening.
I asked how many beers were given out yesterday. They said there was a good number.
Well, there was an exchange. I don't know if there was any given, but
there was, for $1.
Yeah. Yeah, Palm Beach Passion. That looked very much like the team that we expected to see. Mel running behind the big moves of Brandy and then coming back and getting those first ball transition kills that can be so hurtful to your opponent and so good for your own side momentum.
Easily one of the favorites for the AVP League Championships this year. Walk me through some of the highlights.
Yeah, it was early, right? Mel making those plays, some smart serving, and then the on-twos started to be put over. Brandy picked her spots effectively, not only with the option to do it, but also the placement.
Let's go down to Casey Patterson now with our winners.
Congrats, ladies, on the win. I felt like there was a switch that you flipped last night. What was our team talk? What were we talking about to just turn it all on? Because it was flawless volleyball to start tonight.
Oh, yeah, I think clearly I signed up for the Mel show and I'm front row tickets here. So I think it's an excellent game plan every time. You just get your partner to do everything and then you just show up.
No, come on. She's funneling the balls right to me. She knows what she's doing, but no, it was good. We just wanted to play free out there. I think yesterday we were a little too regimented too in our own head. So tonight we just said, screw a game plan. Let's just go have some fun, and we want to get this crowd $1 beer. So
Exactly. What motivation, right? When you're a world champs, Olympic silver medalist, sometimes you just got to remember to have fun, right? And way to prove that you can absolutely handset butter on match point.
Yeah.
I love a good handset call, and then you just like, oh, really? Right after that. Congrats, girls. Excited to watch the rest of the season. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks, Palm Beach.
Let's go, Palm Beach.
You love the fun, you love the energy. They cleared the mechanism and it no doubt worked. We've got the fellas coming up next. You're looking at another Olympic duo, Miles Partain and Andy Benish, facing off against the greatest to play the game, Phil Dahlhauser alongside Trevor Crabb. That coming up next on the CW. AVP League is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP. By Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Let the good times cruise. And by StubHub, the official ticketing partner of the AVP.